Hi guys, shalom, shalom. How's everybody doing? Okay, so today I decided that I'm going to do a video about my grandma. Woo, woo. Bear with me, guys. Okay, so those of you who don't know, my grandma passed away a few weeks ago, and I'm going to say this to you guys. Had it not been for my grandmother, this channel probably would not exist. Okay, let me fix this camera thing here. Had it not been for my grandma, this channel wouldn't exist. My grandmother is the foundation of this channel, Sister of the Maccabees, you know, our group on Facebook. She actually is the reason for what I do. Just helping people with their health, and talking to you guys about herbs and so on and so forth. My grandmother was the herbalist in my family. She was a farmer. My grandma, believe it or not, my grandma was a farmer. She farmed, and she was responsible for the farm. We have a huge plantation back home, and she was the person that was responsible for getting the family together and gathering everybody and going down there and sowing the seeds, or harvesting the crops and so on and so forth. She was the main force behind all of that, and she was also the person responsible for giving us the cleanse, administering the cleanse to the whole family, you know what I mean? Starting with the children, we would get that cleanse. She would wake us up early in the morning and hand us that cup, and we know what it is because she warned us the day before. She's like, just be prepared for tomorrow, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, tomorrow we would get woken up early in the morning, and she would hand us a cup, and we know what it is, and we got to drink it, and it is what it is. And for the entire day, we're not we're not allowed excuse me, to eat anything. So we would be in a fast for the entire day, pretty much. At 5 years old, I remember I was getting a cleanse at 5, and I mean, at that point we just know the drill, you know what I mean? So there's no eating. There's no eating for the entire day. So we have to go on a fast, all right? So it would be me and my sister, maybe my cousins, whatever, and we would get the cleanse, and we know we're not allowed to eat all day, okay? So we have to fast, and we're going to the bathroom, and we're flushing out everything. We're drinking a lot of, fluid, a lot of water, and just keep flushing. She was responsible for giving us the herbs, you know what I mean? There's a lot of herbs on the property, and so, you get a stomach virus or anything like that, any type of respiratory problem. We never really get sick often, but if we ever catch a virus or something, Grandma always know what to do, and sometimes you'll be better in a matter of hours. I remember one day I catch a virus, a stomach virus. I was throwing up, I was weak, I had a fever, you know what I mean? I was going to I had diarrhea, the whole 9 yards. And my grandma gave me something, okay? All I know is she went into the backyard, she grabbed some herb, and she did her little thing, little concoction, and she put it on the stove, and she prepared it, and she handed me a cup, and I drank it, and I passed out. I went to sleep. Yes, it knocked me out. I went to sleep, and I woke up, and I was up in the mango tree, climbing the trees and running around. And just a few hours later, I was good. I'm like, wow. I really, when I look back at those things, I'm like, damn, my grandma, she wasn't playing at all. She really wasn't playing. But she knew her thing. She knew her thing. She was the backbone of my family. I'm trying to do this video without whew. My grandmother was very strong. I don't know if I can do this video, guys. I'm sorry. Woo, woo. Oh, Lord. I think it's too early. Okay. All right. Okay. So, my grandma, she passed away at the age of 94. She was 94 when she passed away. 94 years old. I wish I could live that long. And if you would you believe me that my grandmother did not pass away from an illness? She didn't have diabetes, she didn't have hypertension, she didn't have cancer, she didn't have anything. Actually, I think we believe that my grandmother passed away from depression. I have an uncle who is currently ill, okay? And my grandmother was living with my uncle. She lived with her son. And my uncle is very ill, which I'm treating him for right now. My uncle has Parkinson's disease. That's really unheard of in Jamaica, but maybe one of these days I'll tell you guys. My uncle used to go, he's also a farmer. Okay, my uncle is a farmer. That's what he does. That's his trade. And he was traveling to Canada and the United States to do farming, okay? And he had to go through the whole vaccination process that the United States and Canada put him through. And unfortunately, the heavy metal from the vaccination caused my uncle to come down with an illness, okay? There's a lot of heavy metal in the brain. So right now I'm trying to treat him. So my grandmother was living with my uncle, and my grandmother passed away as a result of a blood vessel. A blood vessel burst in the brain, okay? And the doctor, they said pretty much it could be a cause of stress. So that's what she died from. Blood vessel burst. But she did not have any illness. She didn't have any diabetes. She didn't have any, because my grandma, she cleansed. Her diet was plant foods, she ate most of just everything that would grow in the backyard. Her breakfast was stuff that she picked off the tree, Her dinner was stuff that she planted in her garden, you know what I mean? She would eat a little bit of, flesh here and there, maybe some fish or something. She raised the chicken, so, I don't even think she ate chicken. I don't believe so. Don't remember if she did. But I do know she eat a little bit of fish every now and then. But mostly her food came from her backyard. Like I said, there's a farm. So yeah, and she was 94 when she passed away, and she did not have any illness at all. And so we could all learn something from my grandmother, you know. Take care of the body, take care of the health. Trust me, it works. It works. Just eat the right food, man. My grandmother is a perfect example. She is the reason why I can sit here to you guys and talk to you guys about cleansing the system, you know, taking the herbs, eating the right food to maintain a healthy body, to keep from getting diabetes, to keep from getting prostate cancer, to keep from getting erectile dysfunction, to keep from getting, all these bad skin problem that a lot of my people suffer from, eczema and psoriasis and stuff like that. Keep the skin clean. We never had that issue growing up. That's one thing that my grandmother made sure we never had skin problem. Like, a lot of children grow up and they had those, what we call teenage bumps. Like, where we, not me, but I've seen a lot of teenagers with a whole bunch of bumps on their face. Like, big bumps everywhere, They call them, especially when they become teenagers. We never had any of those problems. We never had any of those problems at all. I think the only issue I had when I was, about 12, I told you guys about that parasite problem I had. And that was pretty much the only problem I had, and that was when I moved away from my grandma and went somewhere else. But when we lived with, grandma, we were healthy. We were healthy. We never went to. I've never gone to the hospital. Never been to we only been to the clinic for checkups. We've never had any illness. Me, my little sister, my cousins. None of us had any. There was no illness. If we get a cut, my grandma know exactly what to put on our cuts. And we're not running. I work at the hospital. I see people bring their children in because they were playing outside and they get a little cut on their finger. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Somebody step on a nail and somebody's going to the doctor. My grandmother know exactly what to do. There's always some herb somewhere, or she put some ashes on it, some activated charcoal on it, something. There's always some natural remedy that my grandmother know to administer and get it better, and it always work, you know. And so, man, she we have a loss in the family when my grandma passed, you know, because I've learned so much from her. And I'm going to say this to you guys, right? A lot of my Caribbean folks, you guys were raised with a particular culture. And when you leave the Caribbean and you go to different countries, whether you come to the United States or you go to England or wherever you go, you don't carry that culture with you. You leave it behind. And a lot of you guys end up suffering from illnesses that as a result of you abandoning your culture. Now, let me just say this. Even right now in Jamaica, a lot of brothers are suffering from prostate issues because the tradition is being lost. Even right there in the Caribbean, the traditions are being lost. Black men in the Caribbean are no longer carrying the tradition with them that their grandma and, you know, the elders in their family pass on to them. You, you know, I was talking to Patrick Delve, my buddy Patrick Delve, and the amount of people that he's dealing with in the Caribbean that are suffering from a lot of illness, prostate disease, and all sort of other problem, because this culture that we have is not being passed down from the elders to us. And it's not that it's not being passed down. Let me take that back. It is being passed down, but we're not carrying it with us for some reason. You see, because look at me. I was born and raised in the Caribbean, right? My grandma passed these things down to me. And here I am. I've managed to hold on to it, and I'm passing it on to you guys, right? That's what I'm doing. So it's not that our elders didn't pass it down to us. It's unfortunately some of us just got rid of it. We just got rid of it. So I have come in contact here, right here in the United States, with a lot of my brothers and sisters that was born and raised in the Caribbean, right? And here they are now, years and years later, suffering from heart disease, diabetes, hypertension, prostate cancer, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, what happened to the things that your mom taught you? What happened to the things that your grandma taught you? What happened to the culture that you left behind in Jamaica? Why aren't you doing what you're supposed to do? It's like it's completely lost. And it's sad. And you haven't passed it down to your children. You come here, you have children here, and all of that is lost. Your children don't know anything about health. They don't know anything about herbs. They don't know anything at all because you guys come from the Caribbean and you refuse to pass it on to your children that you have here in the United States. That's horrible. That's horrible. I have to deal with a lot of you guys that were born and raised in the Caribbean, right? And you come here and you have given up your culture. And you come here and you've eaten all the processed food here. You've forgotten about the food that you know, we have access here in America to the foods, the natural food that we would get, you know, in Jamaica. You know, we do have some access here. In the summertime, we get mangoes and papayas and, you know, stuff like that, melons and stuff like that. In the wintertime, we still have some of the foods that we're accustomed to in the Caribbean. I've seen it in the markets, okay? I've seen it in the supermarket. So, but a lot of us do not carry on the tradition. We come here and we just completely change, and now we are suffering from all type of illness. And then you have the people back home in the Caribbean who are living there, who have taken on the lifestyle of what they watch on TV now. You know, all the processed food that is being advertised on the cable back home in the Caribbean, and that's what they want. They want pasta, they want this processed food and that processed food, and they forgot everything in the backyard, right there in the backyard that's growing on the tree. They don't want that anymore. Sad. And so there's so much cancer that's happening in the Caribbean now. A lot of people are dying from cancer. I think we're in the state where this is the highest rate of cancer going on in the Caribbean, and prostate cancer as well, and just cancer in general. And so that's just what's going on in the Caribbean, man. Our people have completely forgotten their culture. Even back home, they've forgotten what was taught to them by the elders, because they're watching too much social media. That's what's killing our people. Social media, okay, and just the influence of the American lifestyle, of the English lifestyle, of the lifestyle of the other countries that are being advertised on the television, on the cable. And so my people in the Caribbean are now suffering from a lot of illnesses. Well, you know what? I'm here to carry on the tradition, okay? I'm not going to let it go. My grandmother did not work as hard as she did, okay, to get us healthy, okay, giving us all the clans and the herbs and getting the household together. She did not work that hard to get us healthy for me to be sitting here, you know, dying of some diabetes and having heart disease and all type of nonsense. I don't have time for that. I don't. And so my job, okay, I think the Most High have, I don't know what he, you know, the Most High have put this thing on me where I just want to help my people. I feel like it's my job to pass this on. This knowledge that my grandmother passed on to me, I just want to pass it on to you guys, man. So this is the purpose of this channel, is to help my people to get better, to stay better, to keep your health in check. Okay, keep your health. Your health. You only have one temple. You gotta take care of it. You gotta take care of it. All right. This video is very difficult for me to do because you know, it's a little too soon. My grandmother just passed away, and talking about her, I hope I'm not rambling all over the place, but it is difficult for me. I do miss her. You know, my grandma, she was not afraid of death. You know, when you would go visit my grandmother, right, she would say, you'll soon find me in the boneyard. Oh God, that's what my grandmother would say. And what it means is that she will soon be in the cemetery. That's pretty much what it said. She said it with a straight face all the time. Whenever you would go visit her and you go, Mama, how you doing? Oh, you know, I'm just, you know, I'll be in the boneyard soon. And, I mean, all you can do is, but, oh Lord. Yeah, my grandmother was something else. Let me tell you. Oh Lord. She was something else. I'm trying to hold it together, guys. My grandma was something else, though. She was not afraid of dying, apparently. She'll tell you in a heartbeat that she'll soon be in the boneyard, you know? And, you know, to live to see 94, it's a blessing. And for me to sit here and see my people, some of my brothers and sisters in their 30s and 40s, struggling with heart disease, struggling with hypertension, struggling with you know, all type of cancer, liver this and that, and you know what I mean, all type of issue that can be fixed, that can easily be fixed. And all of that is a result of your diet, is what you're eating. You know, you people come to me all the time and you ask me, you know, oh, can you help me with my diabetes? Your diabetes is being caused by your diet. A simple change of your diet is going to help you. I cannot be any more clear. A simple change of your diet will eliminate heart disease. Just change your diet. Stop eating the processed food. Get rid of the bread and the cookies and the pasta and the processed meat. You know, your fake turkey meat and all this beef and ground beef and this, that, and the third. Get rid of it and start eating some plant foods. My grandmother never ate all of that crap. She didn't. And even if she did, Even if she did have, sparingly every now and then, she cleansed the system. She cleansed the system. You see, that's the key. Whenever you think about asking me, what can you do for your diabetes? What can you do for the gout? Okay, the inflammation in the system, your joint pain, all of that stuff that you're asking me about. Think about the food that you're eating. Joint pain, okay, arthritis is inflammation of the joint. Okay, what's causing the inflammation? The inflammation is being caused by too much mucus, too much acid in the body. The body is very acidic. Why? Because you're having food that are very high in acidity, which is your processed food, your bread, your processed meat, your beef, your chicken filled with hormones, okay, your sandwiches, your burgers, all of those things are causing too much acidity in the body, okay? And that's what's causing your joint pain, your arthritis, all right? It's all about what goes into the gut. Every illness that is happening to you, whether it's the dandruff on your scalp, okay, whether it's the gout on your foot, okay, your skin problem, whether it's your eczema, okay, all of it is coming from the gut. I've said this one too many times. Every illness begins in the digestive system, guys. Every illness begins in the digestive system. And it doesn't matter how big or how small your illness is. It's coming from what you are putting in the digestive system, in your stomach. Okay? So, for those of you who are suffering from inflammation in the joint, which is arthritis, there's too much inflammation in the body, which is caused by the food that you're eating. Okay? Too much acidity. Dr. Sebi always talked to you guys about maintaining an alkaline diet. He was very right about that. He was very right about that. Your body needs to be in an alkaline state, okay? And it cannot be in an alkaline state if you continue to eat processed food and junk food and fast food and putting a whole bunch of sugar. Do you have to put sugar in everything? If you're making a cup of peppermint tea, you don't have to put sugar in it. No. Sugar doesn't, you don't have to put any honey. There doesn't have to be any sweetener at all in it. Just drink it. All right? Every time I talk to somebody about drinking some herbs, the first thing they ask me, well, can I put some honey in it? Can I put this sweetener in it, that sweetener? You don't need any sweetener in the herbs that you're putting in your system to cleanse the system. You're putting sugar. The body does not recognize honey or brown sugar or white sugar. The body recognizes it as sweet. Okay? It's broken down as sugar, right? Glucose, all that stuff, right? And that's what affects the body. That's what makes the body, cause the inflammation in the body, right? That's what caused all that problem in the body. Anyway, so get rid of the sugar. Get rid of the processed food. Get rid of all this stuff, guys. Clean up the system, man. Okay? I'm sorry. I know I'm rambling all over the place because I'm talking about my grandma, and I'm not going to make this video any longer. So I'll talk to you guys later, okay? Bye. Shalom.